All right, I hope you're having a very, very good and Merry Christmas. And if you're watching this later, well, we're going to be looking at the dark history of Christmas, which pretty much is the Pagan Origins Exposed full documentary. Let's get it, baby.
Have you ever stopped to
This is
question the origin of
PJ
Christmas
Bible
traditions?
TV.
Every December, millions of people across the globe celebrate Christmas, a festival adorned with twinkling lights, decorated trees, and shiny ornaments. It's a time of
And to be frank, I have no idea where this originated from.
joy and
I do
togetherness,
not.
a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ.
Well, I understand that part, and I understand the biblical meaning, but there's a lot of different traditions that don't stem directly from the Bible, right?
Or so we've been led to believe. But what if I told you that the roots of these traditions are not as holy as you might think? What if they were not born in Bethlehem, but are instead deeply rooted in ancient pagan rituals, borrowed, adapted, and repackaged by early Christians? Intrigued?
Bro, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Shocked, perhaps? This journey is not for the faint-hearted. Let's take a closer look into the controversial origins of our beloved Christmas traditions.
Here we go, baby.
Unearthing the
Buckle up.
paradoxes and ironies hidden beneath the festive cheer. Prepare to have your beliefs challenged. To fully grasp this topic, we first need to understand what paganism is.
Yeah.
Paganism, a term first used in the 4th century by early Christianity, was initially intended to ridicule non-believers of monotheism. The term has since evolved and is now used to denote a variety of pre-Christian, nature-oriented religious traditions. Paganism encompasses a rich tapestry of beliefs and practices, often tied to the cycles of nature and the reverence of the natural world. It's not a single unified religion, but rather an umbrella term for many spiritual paths that are rooted in indigenous, earth-based expressions of faith. These faith expressions are as diverse as the cultures from which they originate. From the Norse pantheon of gods like Odin and Thor, worshipped by the Vikings, to the Roman deities like Jupiter and Mars, each culture had its unique pantheon and practices.
Yeah.
Paganism differs significantly from monotheistic religions like Christianity. While Christianity is
Or Mormonism.
centered around the worship of one god, pagan traditions often venerate a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each with their unique domains and responsibilities. Pagan rituals and
I think we're all like, you know, we pretty much know this already,
practices were often directly linked to the natural world. The changing of the seasons, the cycles of the moon, and the rhythm of the earth were all deeply significant. These natural cycles were seen as expressions of the divine, and were often marked with rituals and celebrations. Paganism also places a high value on the direct, personal experience of the divine, often through meditation, ritual, and nature communion.
If you see a chick in a goat suit, bro, stay away.
It's a spirituality that encourages individual exploration and interpretation, which is another stark contrast to the prescriptive doctrines of monotheistic religions. Another key aspect of paganism is its reverence for the feminine divine, often symbolized by a goddess. This is
It's interesting. I've had this conversation with a bunch of people. A lot of people, even Christians, think that God is a goddess. They're like, God is female. And I've heard this a lot lately, and it's weird because they're like, no, Christian, I just don't agree with the text, you know, which I'm not here to like, you know. It's just an interesting trend I've seen. I've had a conversation about that, and it's always women, and I think it came up like at least like 4 times or something.
Contrast to the predominantly masculine depiction of the divine in Christianity.
Yeah, obviously, you know, God made humans in the liking of him, and you know, they made man, and then, you know, he was like, oh well, man's lonely, so yeah, take his rib and make Eve, right? That's the concept.
So when we talk about the pagan roots of Christmas traditions, we're exploring how these earth-based polytheistic traditions have influenced and shaped the practices of a monotheistic holiday.
Okay, let's go from paganism to Mariah Carey. How do we bridge this gap, right?
With this understanding of paganism, we can now delve deeper into the origins of Christmas traditions.
Yes, here we go.
The roots of many Christmas traditions can be traced back to pagan cultures. Let's journey back in time when winter was a season of dread for ancient people. The sun, their source of warmth and life, was fading away, leading them to the cold grasp of winter.
Yeah, nights were
To
longer.
combat this, they celebrated the winter solstice, the shortest day and longest night of the year, as a symbol of the sun's rebirth. One of these celebrations
Optimism.
was the festival of Brumalia, a month-long feast leading up to the winter solstice. It was a
Okay.
time of indulgence and merriment, dedicated to the Roman god Saturn. Now imagine this. The climax of this festival fell on December 25th,
There he is.
the day we now know as Christmas.
Okay.
This date was also considered the birthday of the unconquerable sun, a concept worshipped by many cultures. The sun was seen as a powerful, life-giving entity, a symbol of hope and rebirth.
Naturally.
It's no coincidence that one of the epithets of Jesus is the Son of Justice. In the 4th century, Pope Julius I made a decision that would forever intertwine Christianity and
What was
these
that?
pagan traditions. He declared December 25th as the official celebration of Jesus' birth. But why this date?
Okay.
The Bible doesn't specify when Jesus was born, and some theories suggest dates like January 6th, April 7th.
Yeah, in church, I've always heard that Jesus wasn't actually born on December 25th. I've heard this from ministers and pastors and adults that teach classes, growing up in a church, a Christian
17th,
church.
March 28th, and even September 11th. Pope Julius I, in an effort to Christianize these pagan traditions, chose a date that coincided with these existing festivals.
Smart.
It was a strategic move
Yeah.
designed to ease the transition of pagans into Christianity by aligning the celebration of Jesus' birth with their own long-held tradition.
Yeah, it's just blurring the
But
lines,
what are
right?
the implications of this decision?
Okay.
For one, it suggests a level of syncretism or blending of religious beliefs that challenges the monotheistic nature of Christianity. By adopting pagan traditions, the early church was, in a way, acknowledging the power and significance of these other gods.
That's debatable. It really is. I think it's more of a, we want more people to believe in what we believe, so let's ease the barrier of entry, right? Makes things more
Furthermore,
familiar.
the Pope's decision could be seen as a form of cultural appropriation.
Exactly.
Taking the traditions of one culture
Yes.
and repackaging them under a different guise. This raises questions about the originality of Christian practices. If they borrowed these traditions
Well, I mean, what are we talking about? Like Christian. Oh goodness, the history of the church in general has a very long and tainted history.
from pagans,
Put it that way.
could the same be said about
Especially
the
the
text
Catholic
of the
Church.
Bible? Could it too be borrowed from other ancient cultures? Some may argue that the choice of December 25th was simply a practical decision, a way to convert pagans to Christianity. But does the end justify the means? By aligning the celebration of Jesus' birth with pagan festivals, did the church unintentionally dilute the significance of Jesus' birth, reducing it to just another winter solstice celebration? And what about the Roman
It could have been they just forgot when Jesus was born. Be like, when was our Messiah born? And we're like, oh shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. We gotta go talk to the other town. Go check the scribes, man. See if they have it written down. They didn't have the internet back then. Like, come on.
Pope's role in this decision?
They're like, fuck
The
it. Let's just say the
Romans were known for
25th.
their polytheistic beliefs,
Yeah, they
worshipping
are.
a multitude of gods and goddesses.
Oh yeah.
By choosing to celebrate Jesus' birthday on the climax of Brumalia, was the Pope subtly perpetuating these polytheistic traditions under the guise of Christianity? The date of Jesus' birth is not the only aspect of Christmas with pagan origins.
Okay, here we go.
As we will explore in a few minutes, many modern Christmas traditions, from kissing under the mistletoe to decorating
what's
with
that
holly,
about?
have their roots in pagan cultures.
Ooh.
So, as we deck the halls and sing carols this Christmas, let's remember the rich tapestry of history that has shaped this holiday.
Okay.
It's a reminder that our traditions are not born in isolation, but are a product of centuries of cultural exchange and evolution.
Naturally.
And perhaps, just perhaps, it's a call to reevaluate our understanding of Christmas, to see it not just as a Christian holiday, but as a celebration of humanity's
Where the fuck did candy canes come from? And Christmas ornaments and fucking like there's so many
enduring
things.
hope for light, life, and rebirth.
Bows,
Many of our
wrapping
beloved
presents.
Christmas traditions have their roots in pagan
Wreaths.
practices. Let's start with one of the most
And like house lights. Why house lights? Like
iconic
what?
Christmas traditions, kissing under the mistletoe.
Okay.
This tradition hails from the ancient Druids, who held the mistletoe in high regard. To them, it symbolized vivacity and
what?
fertility, as it remained green even in the harshest of winters.
Yeah.
During their winter solstice celebrations, the Druids would hang mistletoe branches to ward off evil spirits. But the romantic connotation of the mistletoe comes from Norse mythology. Frigga.
Well, okay, he's probably explaining it, but it would make sense if you're like hanging a mistletoe and it's to ward off like, you know, bad vibes, for lack of better words. But like, you know, you're gonna be chilling there with your significant other. You might be in a little hut. Maybe you're in a little fort you put together. Who knows where you're at, bro? Surviving back in the day before AC. You might be getting, you know, a little comfy, a little lovey-dovey. It makes sense.
The goddess of love and beauty declared the mistletoe
we know Frigga. She was in God
after
of
her
War.
son Balder was resurrected from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
From then on, it was customary to kiss under the mistletoe as a sign of love and lasting friendship.
Okay.
Another tradition we've come to associate with the festive
ornaments,
season
man.
is hanging ornaments on a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
This practice can be traced back
And also, why a Christmas tree? Like what?
to the Roman
How'd the pine tree become a Christmas tree?
festival of Saturnalia, held in honor of the god Saturn. During this festival, Romans would adorn their homes and temples with decorative ornaments. These ornaments, called oscilla, often bore the image of a god or goddess and were believed to bring good fortune. In this,
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my god. Oh my god. So we're all these silly ass ornaments we have on trees, bro. They used to be representing gods.
context, it's interesting to note that we still hang
Snowman
ornaments,
god.
albeit with different representations,
Yeah, 'cause they're
on
cute.
our Christmas trees. The tradition of decorating with holly is another practice with pagan origins. The Druids, Celts,
This is why Christmas is red and green, right? The
and
colors.
Romans used holly in
the
their
holly
winter solstice
berries.
celebrations. The Druids and Celts believed that holly warded off evil spirits and brought good luck.
Okay.
The
This all makes sense because like you're trying to ward off evil, bad spirits, all this kind of bad stuff, right? Because it is like the longest night. This is when you don't have AC, bro. When you're living outside, you're fending for yourself. You're fending against wolves, whatever it might be back in the day, bro. Yeah, this makes sense. You want to ward off all the bad vibes, bro.
Romans, on the other
Makes
hand,
complete sense.
associated holly with their sun god Saturn and would gift holly wreaths during Saturnalia.
Okay.
The Christian adoption of this practice is an example of how the early church incorporated pagan symbols to ease the transition to Christianity. Now, let's talk about jolly old Saint Nick, better known as Santa Claus.
Also, I want to point out a lot of these old traditions predate, Christ coming. So these are traditions that have probably been embedded in lineages that led up to the people that eventually become Christian. Just saying, right? So these are traditions that even like newcomer Christians are going to be evolving with. And it's like, okay, you become a Christian, but you still have a lot of political culture that you're based in. So these ideas naturally still exist, even though you're transitioning into a new religion, right? Yeah, I think that makes sense.
The figure of Santa Claus is a fusion of various figures and legends, including the Christian Saint Nicholas, the English Father Christmas, and the Dutch Sinterklaas. But one of the key influences on
Yeah, why does Santa go down a chimney? That's just fucking weird,
the
bro.
modern image of Santa Claus is the Norse god Odin. During the Yule,
Okay.
a pagan winter festival, children would fill their boots with straw and carrots for Odin's eight-legged horse,
I feel like I've
Sleipnir.
heard this before.
In return, Odin would leave gifts or candy, a practice that is strikingly similar to our modern tradition of hanging stockings for Santa Claus to fill. This isn't the only Yule tradition that has found its way into modern Christmas celebrations. Wassailing, a practice of visiting houses and singing in exchange for food and drink, is reminiscent of today's caroling.
yeah,
However, the origins of
which no one does anymore.
wassailing are far from the
If you have carolers in your neighborhood, me personally, I would fucking move. That shit's corny. That shit's fucking nah, bro. Fuck no. Get the fuck out of here with that
wholesome
shit.
tradition we know
Oh,
today.
that ain't for me, bro.
Wassailers, often rowdy and intoxicated, were known to kick down doors, threaten to
Damn.
defile women, and often resorted to violence to get their
What?
hands on the best food and drinks. A similar tradition existed in Finland, where people worshipped Beiwe, the goddess of the sun, fertility, and sanity. They built a sleigh made of reindeer bones for Beiwe to ride on her journey across the sky.
I love how the god of Bayway is the sun and sanity. So motherfucker, go touch grass, cause you motherfuckers are insane, bro.
The white reindeer that pulled Beiwe's sleigh is uncannily reminiscent of Santa's reindeer. The Germanic peoples also had their own Yule traditions, which included decorating trees for Odin.
Yeah, that would make sense. Also, like, Odin had the eight-legged, horse? So I was thinking maybe that tied into the sled, you know, with all the deer. I don't know, the
Trees
reindeer.
held a sacred significance for the Vikings and Saxons, who often worshipped in groves of trees.
Oh, yeah.
The triangular shape of the evergreen trees symbolized the Holy Trinity in Viking and Saxon cultures, a symbolism that could have been adopted by the Christian faith. The adoption of these pagan traditions by the Christian Church wasn't always smooth. There were times when Christmas was banned due to its pagan influences.
Wow.
However, these traditions have survived and continue to be celebrated, albeit with new meanings and contexts.
Comment down below your favorite holiday of the year. I guarantee a lot of y'all, it's going to be Christmas. There's just something about Christmas, bro. Just being with your family, it's up there, bro. It's definitely one of my favorites.
The pagan roots of these traditions are undeniable. The incorporation of pagan traditions into a Christian holiday has far-reaching implications. The Christian faith, centered around the worship of one God, seems to have adopted practices from pagan cultures that worshipped multiple deities.
Naturally.
The irony here is palpable. We're looking at a faith that
my man does not like Christianity.
has been built on the rejection of polytheism, yet it has wholeheartedly embraced traditions that stem from that very belief system.
I think that's human nature, honestly.
Consider the act of kissing under the mistletoe.
Okay.
This seemingly innocent tradition has its roots in pagan rituals that involved sexual acts and symbolism. It's a stark contrast to the Christian faith's teachings on chastity and modesty. The same goes for the tradition of hanging ornaments. Pagan Romans used to hang ornaments to honor their gods. By adopting this tradition, are Christians inadvertently paying homage to these ancient deities? Then there's the decoration with holly. This tradition stems from the pagan practice of decorating their homes with evergreen plants during the winter solstice to ward off evil spirits and celebrate the return of the sun. In Christianity, the holly is often associated with the crown of thorns worn by Jesus. Yet its origins are steeped in a belief system that Christianity fundamentally rejects. Let's not forget about Santa Claus, the jolly old man who's become synonymous with Christmas.
Yes.
His origins can be traced back to Odin, the Norse god, and Saint Nicholas, who was the patron saint of children and prostitutes.
And guess who else was friends with prostitutes? Jesus!
The image of Santa Claus is far removed from these figures. But the fact remains,
yeah, you only
the character
fans
we've
chicks,
come to
bro.
associate
Jesus
with
loves
Christian
you too.
festivities has roots in pagan beliefs and practices. Now let's think about the implications of borrowing traditions from paganism on the Christian faith.
Okay.
It raises questions about the originality and authenticity.
I really don't think so. A lot of this predates Christianity in general. These are naturally going to be traditions that evolve over time, are carried on over time, lineages and pass and go until they get to Christianity. And you get a pool of people that already have a lot of rich traditions. So yeah, maybe they changed their religion, but it doesn't mean they're going to change every tradition they've fucking been raised with, right?
Of the Christian practices.
Humans are,
if these traditions were borrowed
a creature
and
of
adopted,
habit.
What does it say about the faith that adopted them?
I guarantee if you look at any other religion, there's going to be traditions carried on that predate them from way back when, whether that be Rome or Greek or whatever the fuck. It's just natural,
right? Does it dilute
right?
the essence of Christianity? Or does it point to a more syncretic approach to faith?
You could.
One that incorporates elements from different belief systems.
Yep.
The potential disrespect to Jesus is another aspect to consider. If Jesus' birthday was not on December 25th, but this date was chosen to align with pagan festivals, it could be seen as a way of taking away from the significance of Jesus' birth. It's almost as if
I don't think so, because at the end of the day, it was so fucking long ago. Who knows when? And also, we have a fucking calendar system that has a fucking extra day every 4 years. How wonky is that? So let's be real. Come on now. Let's be real. It doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, they're still celebrating Jesus' birth, his story, every fucking Christmas. If you go to church on Christmas Eve or whatever it might be, that's what they're talking about, right? So, I mean, and that's long. That's, bro, so long. 2000 and fucking whatever years later, bro. It's crazy.
Celebration of Jesus' birth is secondary to the celebration of these pagan deities.
Nah.
Furthermore, the decision by Pope Julius I to align Jesus' birthday with the winter solstice and the birthday of the unconquerable sun could be seen as a strategic move to gain the acceptance of pagan converts. But it also raises questions about the motivations behind this decision. Was it a genuine attempt to integrate the Christian faith with existing traditions? Or was it a calculated move to expand the influence of the church?
I'd say the latter, right?
Finally, we come to the most significant implication.
Okay.
If Christianity borrowed these traditions from paganism, it begs the question, is the text of the Bible borrowed from other ancient cultures?
Who wrote the Bible again? Oh, that's right. Humans. Come on, bro.
After all, if the rituals and traditions were adapted from other cultures,
yes,
it's not far-fetched to think that the same could be true for the religious texts. This is a controversial idea, to say the least, and it's one that challenges the very foundations of the Christian faith.
There's also a lot of different texts that were supposed to be in the original Bible, right? But they were banished. They were outlawed. There's a bunch of them. A bunch of them. Look at the Dead Sea Scrolls. There's a lot. There's a lot more than just that.
The question that...
So they did definitely pick and choose what they put into the Bible, because they're all just old stories, right? Around the same time period.
Then arises, is the text of the Bible borrowed from other ancient cultures?
About the same.
The date of Jesus' birth is a topic of much debate. Scholars and historians have proposed various dates throughout the year, each with its own set of reasonings and supporting evidence. Let's delve into the mystery surrounding Jesus' birth date and how it came to be aligned with pagan festivals. Firstly, January 6th. This...
Oh my, January, you gotta be kidding me.
Date is recognized in many Eastern Orthodox churches as the Epiphany, marking Jesus' baptism and the visit of the Magi. Advocates for this date argue that it's more plausible given the timeline of events documented in the Bible. Next, let's consider April 17th. Some researchers using astronomical charts and biblical references suggest Jesus was born under the sign of Aries, the lamb. This would place his birth in the spring, a time of renewal and new beginnings.
Yes.
March 28th is another proposed date. It's believed that early Christians might have symbolically aligned Jesus' conception and death, both occurring in late March, according to this theory.
Yeah.
Thus, adding 9 months to late March leads us to a late December birth. September 11th is a more recent and controversial theory.
Bro, January 6th. And September 11th. You gotta be fucking kidding me with this video.
Based on the alignment of stars described in the book of Revelation.
Oh boy.
However, this theory is less accepted in academic circles due to its speculative nature.
Yeah, you think?
Despite these varied theories, the universally recognized date remains December 25th. But why? Enter Pope Julius I, who in the 4th century declared this date as the official celebration of Jesus' birth.
Okay.
But his choice was not random. It was a strategic decision to align the birth of Jesus with existing pagan festivals.
And I would have to say it fucking worked. Bro, how many Christians are there in the fucking world? There's a lot. A bunch of them.
During this period, Romans celebrated Saturnalia in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture. This festival was marked by feasting, gift-giving, and a temporary societal role reversal where slaves were served by their masters. December 20th.
Wow. I'm sure they didn't bring that into America.
25th was also the climax of the winter solstice festival, Brumalia, and the birthday of the invincible sun, a popular sun god. Pope Julius's decision to align Jesus' birth with these celebrations was a calculated move. It allowed early Christians to participate in popular festivities without facing persecution, while simultaneously transforming these pagan traditions into a celebration of Jesus' birth.
Yeah.
This decision was not without controversy, as it raised questions about the authenticity of Christian traditions. Were they merely repackaged pagan customs? Moreover, one of the epithets of Jesus is the Son of Justice. So, celebrating his birth on the same day as the Son, God's birthday, could be seen as a parchment. But it also further blurs the line between Christian and pagan traditions. The Pope's decision also had far-reaching implications. It allowed for the absorption of various pagan symbols and rituals into the Christian celebration. The Romans' use of ornaments and decorations during Saturnalia finds a mirror in today's Christmas trees, adorned with baubles and tinsel. The Norse tradition of Yule, which involved a feast and the burning of a log, transformed into the Christian Yule log tradition.
Which one is that?
The decision to align Jesus' birth with pagan celebrations was a turning point in the history of Christmas. It allowed for a seamless integration of Christian and pagan traditions, creating the festive season we know today.
I'm confused what the
But
log
it also
tradition
sparked
was.
a debate that continues to this day.
Like a fire pit?
How much of our Christian traditions are rooted in paganism?
It seems like
And
a
what
lot.
does this say about the authenticity of these?
My man's repeating the fuck out of himself. Okay, I get it. Your conclusion is you're wasting time. I'm not gonna lie. Up to probably about the 15th minute mark, it was a really good video. I found the video to be very informative. Yes, me too. Very interesting. Oh, here we go. We got a fucking book. You see this shit on fucking Facebook. I normally wouldn't read these, but why not? The Festival of Bramolia. There are different dates given for this celebration. Information is sporadic. The common date that shows up is November 24th. Saturnalia, I fucking butchered that, was an agriculture festival to honor Saturn. Okay, we're gonna go through all the shit that he just talked about. Yeah, and it's got no likes. This was a good video, man. PG Bible TV. Interesting. I really didn't think he was on the side of Christianity in this, but shit, maybe he was. I don't know. It was very informative, very interesting. Definitely think a lot of this all just stems from like human nature with having habits, traditions, and them predating Christianity. But it is very interesting to see. Great video. I'm getting a like. Go like the video if you enjoyed it. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good Christmas or had a good Christmas, man. It's interesting to know the history a little bit more in depth. And if you're new here, dude, hit that like button, hit that sub button, join the ether. We do a lot of reactions to different topics, like we're doing the history of Christianity, or not Christianity, but of Christmas, which is pretty much go hand in hand, right? But yeah, it is what it is. It's about 5:30 in the morning right now on Christmas Day in 2024. Finna be in 2025. Hope y'all have a good year. A couple videos popping up by my head. I'm waiting for Santa. Where he at? Christmas trees right in front of me with a bunch of nice ornaments. All those gods, those modern day gods. But yeah, my name's Triswish. I'll see you in the next one. Watch those videos by my face, or better yet, just go check out the channel. There's a lot of different topics we talk about, bro. A lot of different topics: video games, movies, TV shows, funny reactions, modern topics, or news, all that kind of stuff. And if you want me to react to something of interest to you specifically, leave it down in the comment section below. Let's keep the conversation flowing about Christmas. Go drink yourself some eggnog, don't get too drunk, and make sure you're not the fucking asshole uncle this year. Deuces.